could Earth acquire such a large satellite? What is the Moon's origin? What is the Moon's chemical composition? Do we need to know these? Many other theories too are coming up. But what is the truth? Then there are many other questions. Do the two poles of the Moon contain ice? Are there deposits of helium-3? Small amounts of it are capable of meeting all the power requirements on the Earth by nuclear fusion. If so, the Moon would be the next station for undertaking planetary studies. The attraction of exploring the Moon is unending. And therefore, for the Indian space program, the Moon is the next stepping stone. Today, the Indian space program is self-reliant, with capability to design, build, and launch its own satellites. The PSLV will be carrying the first Indian lunar craft, Chandrayaan-1. The lunar craft will be a cuboid of 1.5 meters using honeycomb sandwich cylinder technology for its main load-bearing elements. The launch of the PSLV and subsequent journey of the lunar craft has to be accurate. The PSLV will first place the lunar craft in a highly elliptic orbit around the Earth, identified as Elliptical Parking Orbit or EPO. The closest point of the orbit to the Earth will be 240 kilometers and the farthest 36,000 kilometers. Then the liquid motor will fire to take it away from the Earth's gravity. The lunar craft will travel over a period of 5.5 days, covering about 3,86,000 kilometers on the trans-lunar trajectory to arrive near the Moon. Here, the lunar craft will be slowed down to allow its capture by lunar gravity and to put the lunar craft in the near-circular polar orbit at about 1,000 kilometers. In this 1,000-kilometer orbit, the solar panel of the lunar craft will be deployed. A series of in-plane corrections to reduce the height of the craft from the lunar surface will place it in the 200-kilometer near-circular orbit. After the performance check of the lunar craft and its orbit around the Moon for a week or two, the altitude will be further reduced to 100 kilometers to put the lunar craft in the final designated polar circular orbit. With the placing of the lunar craft in this orbit around the Moon, the study objectives of the mission will be initiated. These studies should give us new insights to understand the composition and chemical evolution of the Moon. The data collected by all the payloads on board the lunar craft will be stored on solid-state recorders. The stored data will then be downlinked in X-band by the gimbaled steerable antenna. The lunar craft will be working in its orbit and collecting data round the clock uninterrupted at a distance of about 400,000 kilometers from the Earth. The critical payload data generated by the lunar craft will reach the Earth through the Indian Deep Space Network to be studied and deciphered by the scientific community. The first Indian mission to the Moon will be the result of meticulous planning, extreme precision, and continuous hard work put in by the Indian scientific community. And this mission is just a beginning. The beginning to open up newer horizons lying beyond the solar system. from science fiction. Neither is this exercise for status or prestige. But yes, it is a dream. A dream with the solid foundation anchored in our scientific strength. The strength of the second largest scientific manpower and decades of committed space research. The aspiration of the Indian space program has always been enrichment and betterment of society. Can we then afford to ignore it now?